Hey guys, welcome back to Tennessee Urban Garden. Today I'm going to be pulling my garlic out. It's a beautiful day in East Tennessee. We are going to have, I think, a couple days in the 90s here soon, and my garlic's already done. Now, it depends on when you planted it. I planted mine in about October, but we very mild winter, so we didn't have a really harsh one, so my garlic kept growing all winter. Mine's done. It's getting near the middle of May. Last year I harvested it near the end, but this year it's done right now. So I'm going to show you how I pull them out and where I store them. Okay, I have some right here in front. I have tomatoes growing back there and I'm about to rip all these out. But you can tell when they're ready. Now this one's been ready. I knew they were ready, I just couldn't take them out at a certain time. You see how there's two going up and there's almost a third that's dying. See how it's brown? Tips are brown. They're ready. They're more than ready to come out. That's how you can tell when your garlic is ready. Some people say they count the days. I watch the garlic, watch for the sets of leaves that are brown. They're ready to be harvested. And now I'm going to take a trowel and I'm going to dig down. You go away from your bulb. Don't dig right next to it. Go back or on the side and gently get underneath it and pop it out. That way you're not ripping the roots or anything else. But also another thing to know is you need to cut off the water. Don't water your garlic at all 3 to 4 days before you take it out. You don't want a big muddy mess left on there. And that will help it come out. Now some of these I know split from last year. See this? See how it's growing little shoots out of the middle of where there was already leaves? I think this one split into a couple different bulbs, which can be used still. It just has to be used first. So get a shovel, little hand trowel, whatever you got. Now I gotta push away the straw that I had on it. I'm gonna dig down and I'm gonna pop up. There we go. Look at that root system. That's pretty massive. This bulb looks pretty good. Just gently hit the dirt off. See? Looks pretty good. And I'm just going to keep working my way all the way down this row, popping them out, and then I'll show you where I put them later. Just have to show you guys the size of this thing. Thought this one was decent size. This is pretty big. It's a nice bulb. This thing's huge. Look at it. It's like a softball. It's a big one. This one's big too. best garlic harvest I've ever had. I'm so proud of myself. Here's some of the ones I pulled out of this bed. They're massive. It's like a huge baseball, almost to a softball size, out of this bed. I think this is the smallest one I picked out of this bed. And it's not small, so great harvest this year so far. This is my hardneck bed. It's not the soft neck that I just pulled out. I do have another soft neck bed, but I'm gonna do this one first and see what we get. All right, remember just to dig around the bulb, don't stab it. Now my hard neck are usually smaller, always smaller than my soft neck, no matter how long I leave them in. It's a pretty decent size. It's like the same size you get in the grocery store. And also, I didn't weed this bed very well this year, and garlic does not like to compete with weeds. So the more you weed it, the better yield you're gonna get. And obviously these are not going to be very huge because I did not weed this. All right, I don't have all of my garlic in raised beds. I do have some in the ground. These are in the ground. I'm going to pull the rest out and I have some actually in pots. We're going to see how big these are. These accidentally got watered, but it'll be okay. They're decent size. My pot one got watered by my daughter. It'll be all right. Just shake them off really good. So it's pretty decent size for a pot. Here's the one from the ground. Ground pot. They're both pretty good size. Throw that worm back in there. Let's go. Sorry about the noise, guys. My neighbor decided he wanted to cut down 1 million trees, which is fine. That's what the noise is. So remember, this garlic, I already pulled it out too. This garlic is the one that I just threw. If you remember my planting garlic video from last fall, I just threw it in the ground. I didn't put the end down and then covered it. I just threw it and covered it, and they still grew just fine. It's a little harder right here. That's why I like raised beds. It's just easier, the soil. I mean, that's the normal size you get at the store, so it's not bad. Oh, look, a little buddy grew right on the side. Look like deposit. Decent. Not too shabby for throwing it in the ground. I'll have to link in the description what kind these were. These are not elephant garlic at all. The very first ones I pulled out that were absolutely huge, they're not elephant garlic at all. I know one is chestnut red. I don't remember the other one, so I'll have to link it. Pretty decent. So let's take it up there now. I'm gonna unload this wheelbarrow, see how much I can get on that cart. All right, I got it all on there. Now some of it's very packed and I'm gonna have to keep spreading them apart or find another cart to lay them on. But I put a whole row up front and then I did another one inside the openings to sit in there. This is the old one. And then I did another row right behind it. And I counted them all. That very last one is hard neck, and these 3 are soft neck. And then this is soft neck, but I had to show you these. They're so big. They're just absolutely massive garlic. And remember, these are not elephant garlic. I mean, that's just nuts how big these are. And they got a root system. Remember, your root system forms in the fall and over winter. And then they bulb out in the spring. And I mean, probably these, honestly these, I know they're the biggest, but I saved the biggest and the best for my harvest for next year. To plant next year, not my harvest, but to plant. Because I want even bigger. And I saved the biggest cloves from the biggest bulbs. And these are the biggest. I mean, wow. And I ended up with about 175 garlic in total, which will be enough. That's about, I think I had 190 last year, but I didn't, some of them rotted, so I had to throw them away. But so far this year looks like a good harvest. And I mean, this is probably, let me find one about the same size as the store. I mean, that's about the size of a store garlic. Maybe just a tad bigger. See how big these are? It's crazy. Now I'm going to let these sit out here for the rest of the day, because we're not supposed to have storms or anything. And then I'm going to, you could let them sit out for a day or two, depending on your weather. You don't want to let them sit out if it rains. That's why I have them on a cart. I can just roll it back. I'm But I'm going to roll this into my garage probably tonight because we're supposed to have rain tomorrow. And I'm going to put a fan in there and get it going. And I'm going to adjust these every couple days just to make sure they're not too packed in there. And I'm going to twist them if I need to, move them around so they have good airflow. You need something that has airflow on the top and bottom. And of course this is a rack, so it has really good airflow. And I'm going to put a fan on these going back and forth constantly. And they're going to cure for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how long they take. Alright guys, that's it for the harvesting. This is my haul, about 175 bulbs. Some of them are really big and they're awesome looking, and then have some really good sized ones. Most of them are big, some were smaller. Just depends on the soil, honestly. My compacted soil in the ground that I didn't really till up or break down that easy, they are about medium size, but the really soft, loose soil, I had some really big bulbs. Awesome. But I'll be back in about 2 to 4 weeks, so about a month, depending on how long these take to cure. And remember, growing garlic's not hard, you just got to let it sit. So you plant it in the fall, let it sit all winter. You make sure it has a decent amount of water supply, and then you have to fertilize them. I fertilized them twice, and all I used to feed them was bone meal. That's it. I sprinkled, I took a big handful and I sprinkled it around all of the garlic, and then I watered it in really good. And I did that twice at the beginning of spring and about 3 weeks ago. And this is the product of that. So wherever you put this, remember, wherever you put this, it's going to smell so strong of garlic. You better like garlic or get used to the smell, because it's going to be very potent. But it's great because I won't have to buy garlic at all this year. So I'll see you guys next time.